Hey friends, welcome to my channel. If you're old here, thanks for coming back. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. I'm Marissa Daly, a travel blogger from the DC area, and today I'm here to tell you everything you need to know about going to Puerto Rico. If you landed on this video, you're probably A, thinking about going to Puerto Rico, or B, already planning a trip to Puerto Rico. And so it's extremely important, especially during these times, to know everything that you need to know, do your research, do your due diligence before you show up. And you can avoid the $300 fine that will come with that. More about that later. So I'm going to be covering 3 sections in this video. A, what you need to know and do before you go. B, what you need to know and do while you're there. And C, what you need to know and do before you leave if you are on the mainland United States. And so yeah, I just wanted to share this information. It's as accurate as it can be today on May 17th, 2021. Definitely check the website and make sure nothing has changed since the posting of this video. But before I jump in, little homework assignment. If you find this helpful, please do not forget to subscribe. I am traveling and sharing my heart and soul with you all as I enjoy this big, beautiful world and would love to take you on for the journey. But let's go ahead and jump in. So, what you need to know before you leave. Number 1, you cannot show up to the island without a COVID test. You will be fined $300 if you show up to the island without a COVID test, and that's something new as of the end of April. And so you must show up with a COVID test, but it cannot be rapid. It has to be a PCR molecular COVID test because negatives and false positives and false results overall are so common with rapid tests that they are not accepting that. So you'll need something, a PCR molecular test that's dated 72 hours or less from your arrival. So 3 days or less from your arrival that you need this test to be dated. So you can't take the test 4 days in advance, you can't take the test a week in advance, you must take the test 3 days or less before you actually touch down on the island, and they do check this. And I will say, even if you are vaccinated, there is no difference between a vaccinated or unvaccinated traveler in Puerto Rico. Both are expected to come with a negative test. We are all on a level playing field when we arrive. So even if you're vaccinated, you need to get this test. So you have your test results and you need to upload before you arrive a travel declaration form, uploading your negative results. And in that travel declaration form, you'll tell them your dates, what time you're arriving, what time you're leaving, where you're staying, what municipality that those accommodations are in. You'll be providing them basically with all information so that they can know the trajectory of where you are on the island in case of any contact tracing, or they just need to have that information. So you're going to be sharing lots of information with them so that they can keep everyone safe. Okay, so now you've got your COVID test, you've uploaded your travel declaration form, and check your email because you'll be receiving your QR code, which needs to be scanned when you get to the airport, verifying that you are who you say you are and you have your travel declaration form and negative results. So that's what you need to do before you go to the island. So to recap, negative result, upload your travel declaration form. All right? All right, so now you're already on the island, you're getting off the plane, you feel it in the passenger bridge as you're getting off the plane. It's like heat and you're ready for the sun on your skin, for the clear water, a mouthful of mofongo, you're ready. So you get to the airport, now what? So go to the baggage claim and you'll go to the baggage claim, pick up your baggage, and then you'll need to look to the right. And there's a door to exit the airport, but at that door will be a line for them to scan your QR code with your travel declaration form. The National Guard is at the airport, so they are doing some of that work to make sure people are safe. So you'll need to stand in that line and wait till they can scan your QR code, verifying your negative result so you can go enjoy the island. And so stand in that line, get your QR code scanned, and you're ready to go. So while you're on the island, you'll need to be wearing your masks. It is important to wear your mask both inside and outside. I know the CDC says, oh, like now if you're vaccinated, like you don't have to wear it, but that's not how things are operating there. You need to wear your mask no matter what. What I will say is that some people have gotten in trouble, some people haven't. Some places are stringent, some places aren't. But as a rule of thumb, keep the locals safe and wear your mask. The businesses and restaurants are all operating at a 30% capacity. So you have to be mindful of that. If you go somewhere crowded, then it may be difficult to get in because they do not have a large capacity. They are not allowed to have a whole lot of people inside at once. And so you'll need to make sure that you are just like having backups when you go places so that you know things are at limited capacity. For example, I took a catamaran tour. It was a little bit more difficult to get a ticket because the catamaran could only have 20 people on it at a time. So just be aware of that as you're navigating what you want to do while you're there, and try to book everything that you can in advance. So as far as the island's curfew, it is constantly changing. Today, May 17th, it is 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. And when I actually visited not too long ago, it was 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. But what I will tell you is that no matter what the curfew is, the businesses must close an hour before curfew to allow everyone to close out, like the servers and the staff, to really be able to finish their shifts and go home. So, for example, if the curfew is at 12 a.m., the business will close at 11 p.m. But don't be fooled by that, because it will really close before that. And this is a little confusing, but really the business will close around like 45 minutes before the time they actually close. So if the curfew is 12, the business is closing at 11, and you try to go to the business at 10:30, they're not gonna let you in. They're trying to get people to finish their food and get out. So you really have to make sure that you are getting places a little bit earlier than what the actual curfew is. So just be aware of that. Whatever the curfew is, like take it 2 hours back and arrive like at least 2 hours before that, because the curfew seems to be changing with whatever the level of cases are. In addition to that, you'll need to make sure that you are providing yourself with as much time to get home as possible. If you are not renting a car and you're doing an Uber, Uber can be very difficult on the island because it seems like I don't know if this is COVID related, but it seems like there's a shortage of drivers. You could call Uber and it could take literally 30-20 minutes for the Uber to come pick you up. So if the business closed at 11, you might be waiting on the street till 11:30 to make it home by 12. So just be aware of that and make sure you're calling your Ubers a lot earlier. As far as everything else, people are social distancing. People are, for the most part, wearing their masks. It seems like everyone's really trying to be good about that. But I know the locals are quite fed up with tourists who are going there and being disrespectful. So I just wanted to say, make sure you're being respectful as you're there. Aside from that, everything is quite normal. The businesses are all open, the souvenir shops are open, the beaches are open, boat tours, walking tours, jet skis, water sports, everything is open. It's just at limited capacity. So you will be able to pretty much experience everything on the island as you would normally, with social distancing and COVID protocols in place. Whatever your excursions may be, whether it's zip lining or any of the cool activities I just mentioned, you're going to need to book that ticket in advance. Getting a catamaran tour ticket was quite difficult, and I was so thankful that we were able to actually get the tickets. So I would say, and then even the tours, like we went hiking in El Yunque and the tour was pretty much at capacity. So just make sure that you're booking everything in advance, because Puerto Rico is quite a popular destination right now. And so things are, I feel like, a little bit more expensive because the demand is high, and also be prepared to make sure you're booking in advance to ensure that you actually have things to do when you get there. Besides that, you're going to have an absolutely amazing time on the island. It is so beautiful. It is such a spiritual experience, hiking through the rainforest and doing those amazing things. And if you're still planning your trip, feel free to click the link down below where I have put my Puerto Rico guide with all of the things that I did while I was there, so you can plan accordingly and get a good idea of what to do while you're there. So now let's talk about what you need to know while you're leaving. If you are on the mainland United States, you have an easy, breezy, beautiful trip back. Seriously, just come to the airport and get on your flight. You don't need a test to get back into the mainland United States. This is exempt for Puerto Rico, and it is also exempt for the U.S. Virgin Islands. I have had a lot of people ask me, do you need a test before you come back? No, you don't. That's as far as the entire country. Your individual state may have a different rule. I would definitely suggest looking at the guidelines for your actual state. But here in Virginia, you didn't need one to get back in the state. So as far as the country or federal guidelines, you don't need a test to get back into the mainland United States. But do check with your individual state to make sure. And like I said, I just think you're gonna have a great time. You have to make sure that you are very prepared, that you do your due diligence, make sure your accommodations are booked, make sure you book your excursions and have kind of an idea of what you're going to do each day. This is not the time for spontaneous spontaneous travel. Truly, it is a time to plan and to use all the resources that you have available to you. But yeah, have a great time in Puerto Rico. Make sure you get that negative test. Don't get fined $300. Wear your mask, be responsible, and you're gonna have such an amazing time. And like I said, if this video was helpful at all to you, please subscribe. I do have a van conversion coming up. I have some travels coming up, and I really can't wait to share all of those things with you. Thank you for stopping by. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. I will be responding, and I will talk to you guys later. Safe travels.